All right, here we are. I think I've got it live on YouTube. Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is our first consultant interview for Sunroom Week. And so I am introducing you, or you will be introduced to all three of the Heart of a Mother homeschool consultants this week. First up is Amy. Amy, do you want to give a brief introduction of who you are?
Sure. I'm Amy. I live in Texas. We have 5 kids. We have always homeschooled, and I have 2 graduates and 3 still at home with a high schooler, a middle schooler, and an elementary schooler. So we're spanning all the levels this year. And I did have one year where we literally had K through 12, which was
Wow.
very difficult.
So tell us kind of your homeschooling history. Have you been homeschooling them all the way? Did they do any school?
We have always homeschooled. That was not the intention. I kind of fell into it accidentally. I'm actually got a degree in education. I had done student teaching. I had planned to be a teacher. I was a teacher before I had kids. And then I had kids and realized that mm, full day kindergarten probably wasn't going to be a good fit for my oldest kid. And my oldest kid still needed a nap every day. And we had a baby 10 days before he should have started school. And I also realized that getting 3 kids up and ready myself to get the oldest kid to school by 7:30 was probably not going to be a good situation. So it's actually kid three's fault that we're homeschooling.
Got it. Okay. Very fair, very fair. Well, before we dive into just questions about your homeschooling and your consulting experience, let's do a fun little this or that. I'm going to call out two things and you tell me which you prefer, just kind of your first instinct. You ready?
Okay. Mhm.
Okay. Morning basket or afternoon tea time?
Tea time.
Science experiment or nature walk?
Science experiment.
Book club or gym?
Neither.
Awesome. You are an introvert. Okay, I think this is the hardest one on the list. Saint Therese or Saint Teresa?
Oh, that is tough. Like I like the big thoughts of Teresa of Avila and the interior castle, but I like the accessibility of Saint Teresa's Little Way. So I'm gonna go with her. Plus
Okay.
roses are nice. Yeah.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Library trips or subscription boxes?
Subscription boxes.
Go to co-op or stay at home?
Oh, that's a tough one. I would prefer to be home. My kids prefer co-op.
Okay, fair. Workbooks or iPads?
Workbooks,
Daily mass or adoration?
adoration.
That one's hard too.
Yeah, what got me is adoration is typically quiet.
Moms need quiet, right?
Moms need quiet.
Fair, fair. Museum or zoo?
Museum? Yeah.
Okay. School's out at 2 o'clock, no matter what, or we're done when we're done.
We're done when we're done.
Mm,
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
Blanket fort or the floor is lava?
Blanket forts.
Nice. Rosary or Lectio Divina?
Lexio Divina.
Audiobooks or read aloud?
Audiobooks. I hate reading
Dino.
aloud.
Oh, you hate reading aloud?
I hate reading aloud.
No voices for Amy. All right, two more. Dino chicken nuggets or peanut butter and jelly?
PB&J, as long as it's not grape jelly, because that's the worst.
Okay. And St. Francis or St. Augustine?
St. Francis.
Oh,
I like how he tried to make the faith accessible to the people in his era. Like St. Augustine is like still up here, and he stayed up there.
they're all awesome.
They're all awesome, but yeah.
Okay. All right.
Plus nativity sets are great.
They are very fair. So on that theme, like getting to know you a little better, what's your favorite part about being Catholic?
I love the stories of the saints. I
Hmm,
love their stories of their miracles and their legends, and that they were real people in history, which is a shared history with all of us in the church and just being living on earth in civilization, and how great a variety there is. Like if there's room for all those saints in heaven, then there's room for all of us different kinds of moms here.
yes, That's comforting. Very, very comforting. That's very cool. That's a question we ask mamas who are joining our Facebook group is what's your favorite part? And I love reading those answers. I'm like,
Hmm.
I just love seeing the variety and diversity of that.
Hmm.
So, okay, let's dig into homeschooling a little bit more. Most people who are thinking about a consultant or thinking about talking to someone about homeschooling want to know, like, what homeschooling philosophies or methods are you comfortable with? Like, what are your favorites?
So I started out traditional classical education style. We were in a memorization co-op and I did books and workbooks and um I like that style insofar as I can see a clear progression and see progress. But as I've had more kids, as I've gotten older and more experience, as I've had a great diversity among my own kids, I find myself leaning more towards like Charlotte Mason and going at the kids' pace and reading a variety like good solid books, not just
Mhm.
textbooks. And now we're definitely like an eclectic mix of all three of those things.
Right. Which is
Because
where many
whatever
of us end up.
works. Right.
Yes, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, kind of zoning in on this year, what is a material or resource that you're using this school year that you're really loving, and why do you love it?
I'm really loving Into the Deep. I'm using level one with my two youngest kids, and I love that I can use it for multiple grade levels. I love that it weaves in scripture and music and stories, and it's just very well done. And I love all the interconnectedness of all these different things to our faith, and that it's told in such a way that again, I feel like I keep using the word accessible, but it's accessible to them in these various ages and levels that they're at in their understanding of the faith. And I really love that about that resource.
Awesome. Glad that's working for you well. Is there a subject or like a topic that you geek out over and you sneak it into lessons whenever you can?
Yes.
What's that?
It's in my brain, it's technically three subjects of like history, science, and art, but in my brain they're all interconnected because in a historical period we had scientific discoveries and art things and different ways of doing art, sometimes based on science, but because of historical and scientific advances. So in my brain, those are all together, and I pull those in like whenever we can. And there's a kid doing an art project at any given day at my kitchen table, which is fine. I love it.
That's amazing. That's a gift. Not all of us have that gift to tolerate that mess.
Some are
Very
messier
cool.
than others. We don't have a lot of messy. We do not own glitter, much to my girls' chagrin, but there is
Yeah,
paint and there's watercolors. And we do now have markers. We
beautiful.
did not have markers for years because little kids, but we can
Little
do
people.
markers now.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, so looking, that's the joy. Looking at the struggles, what has been the hardest part about homeschooling for you personally, and how have you handled that?
I think the hardest part has been balancing the needs of all the kids and myself too, like the academic needs, the social needs, the emotional needs, the fact that mom needs a break, but everybody still needs her all at the same time. Um, So yeah, balancing the needs of all the people all day long without really getting a break because there's just a lot of them and there's only one of me. And some years are handled more than others. I think as I've gotten older, I've realized, you know what, we just can't do all the things all the time. So sometimes that means not everyone has an extracurricular activity because I can't drive them all, or it means we're going to focus really hard on one subject that's kind of been pushed aside the last few years and really hit that this year, and the other ones will kind of have to fall away. So it's not necessarily a true balance. It's more of just figuring out what's going to work so we can keep going on this river of homeschooling and make it downstream.
Fair, fair. Yes. That is really hard. That lack of a break, lack of alone time, lack of even just control over your own schedule.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right. What about struggling kids? I'm sure you faced kids struggling or bored kids who are reluctant to do the work. And I'm curious, what is a tip or a few tips you would give a client if they're like, my kid just won't do the work or my kid's really struggling with the work? Where do you direct that mama?
I would want them to try and figure out why their kid is struggling. Is it they don't want to read or the words are really big for the level they're at? So could you read it aloud? Or is it they just hate writing? So could you be the scribe or could they answer it orally? And we have totally switched curriculums or adjusted how we used curriculums to make that work better. I had a kid who just didn't like writing, and so I assigned a lot more art drawing assignments. They
Mhm.
achieved the same thing if it's describe the house and how it looked in the book. Well, they could draw it better than they could write an answer in a complete sentence. And the drawings I got from this particular child are amazing. And
Oh,
it's funny to see how that carried out over that child's homeschool career because that kid is an excellent artist even to this day.
right. Oh, that's great. Yes. What is the reason they're struggling? How do we figure that out? That
And
makes sense.
don't totally ditch the curriculum. Like, see if you can tweak what you have. We have
Hmm.
totally ditched curriculums because it was not a good fit. But most of the time, depending on what it is, we can tweak what we have to make it work.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have like a go-to, like a brain break or reward when a homeschooling day is kind of tough and you need to figure out, like, we got to keep going, that you would share with mamas?
So on really rough days, there's closet chocolate, which is dark chocolate peanut butter cups usually. And because dark chocolate is the best chocolate.
For
And
mama or for the kids?
for me,
Just checking.
for them, it's like M&Ms to finish math problems or
Okay.
chocolate chips, whatever we got. Um, what has also been really helpful this past year is taking a walk in the middle of the day to get me out of the house, to get me out in the sun, to get some movement and exercise, all of those good things.
Hmm.
And that provides a legit brain break because I have kids old enough I can leave them at home and I can take a walk, or I can
Mm,
take a walk with my husband if he's home from work. So that has been a huge game changer,
that's
especially this
awesome.
year. Yeah.
Yeah. And while it's not as ideal with dragging kids along, it can help them too sometimes get
Yeah.
outside. Yeah.
Hmm.
Interesting. Interesting. So I'm assuming you love being a homeschool consultant because you've been doing this for, has it been like 4 years now, 4.5 years?
Hmm.
And
Officially 4 years.
especially, and you haven't quit yet, and you know, you barely get paid now. I mean, fair. But why do you do it? What do you love about like working with families and advising them on homeschooling things?
I love I love getting to know these families. Like there's a mom I've been working with the first year they added a puppy to the family. So she was asking for suggestions on how to handle homeschooling with this new puppy. And the next year I talked to her and it was they were pregnant and that was very exciting. And the next year I talked to her and the baby had come. So it's like reconnecting with an old friend. Each year I get to talk to this wonderful mom and see how they're progressing and seeing how they make their homeschool work better for them in the course of these life changes that we all have, but it's fun to get to see that from kind of a zoned out view because I talk to this mom once a year maybe, but it's fun to see the progression they've made and the changes they've made and to offer suggestions that hopefully make their homeschool years easier and better. It's more smooth for them.
Hmm. Interesting. What kind of questions do clients ask you in a homeschool consult?
Some will
Some
ask
examples.
about curriculum suggestions, either for their whole year or they know what they want to use for a couple subjects, but they're curious about a math program or an English program or spelling comes up a lot. A lot of want to know if they're doing enough. So many mamas want to know if they're doing enough, and it's a comfort to say, yeah, you're probably doing just fine, even if you don't finish all the books, even if you don't touch on grammar this year. I bet you're doing enough.
Hmm.
So that comes up a lot and just that reassurance that you're doing enough, you're doing a good job, and you're the best possible mom for your kids in this role. And I love that part of it.
Yeah, me too. It's really encouraging in my own journey for to hear that, to hear
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, like you mentioned choosing curriculum.
Mhm.
and talking to clients about that because that does come up a lot. Is there anything particular you look for when you're helping a client choose curriculum? What are your kind of standards?
Um, as far as choosing a curriculum, I want to make sure it's a curriculum that's either been around for a while or has been time tested or beta tested
Mhm,
or has been part of a program that is well known and liked and has proven success
mhm,
overall. And then I look to that particular mom and her particular challenges and her particular strengths and go from there to decide what sort of spelling or math or literature would be a good fit for them at the stage of life they're in now. Because a lot, while they're covering the same subjects, how they're organized or how they're arranged or what resources they use are all a little bit different. And depending on, like, if it's a baby year or the mom has a lot of kids, they're going to need a program that doesn't need mom to teach everything all day long because they don't have time for that. So we need
right.
to find some things that allow the kids to work more independently. If the mom really hates a subject, then we want to find something that's more hands off and
Mhm,
allows them and their student to feel successful in that subject, even if the mom doesn't particularly care for it. So those are some things specifically that I'm looking for my clients and
right.
for us too. Like
Yeah.
there's some years that are busy years and we need more independent work, and there's
Mhm,
some years I can be hands-on and put more time and effort and energy into that.
right. Right. Very wise. Very wise. Okay, so do you have like I'm thinking as different clients that I've spoken to, and this is always kind of a concern. Do you have like experience with kids who have learning challenges or giftedness or asynchronous development, like those, those special kids that aren't average? Do you have experience with that?
Yes, I had students like that in my classroom when I taught, and I have students like that in my home.
Fair.
Yeah.
Right. You know how that all works and how that
We
factors
do a
into the
lot of
challenging.
yes, we do a lot of adjustments to the standard curriculum to meet kids where they're at, and sometimes that
Mm,
means I have a kid who's spanning curriculum across 3 or 4 grade levels, and that's okay because that's what they are capable of doing at that particular stage in their development, and that works out
right.
great.
That's beautiful. Yeah, because in a brick and mortar school, they're making accommodations, but
Hmm.
as moms, it's hard to figure out what does that look like. So
Hmm.
that's great that you have that experience. Very cool. Okay, a couple of fun questions. What is something funny or unexpected that's happened to you while you were homeschooling?
Okay, this was a tough one. I was trying to think of something, and I was recalling working on a math problem with a high school kid. And this kid had tried and they couldn't get it. And I had tried and I couldn't get it. So we break out the answer key, and the answer key had laid out the exact way to solve this problem. And we're both looking at it, and it makes no sense to either of us. And we just wrote down, I crossed out that problem and I wrote, we tried. Because we did. We wrote down the answer. The answer didn't make sense. And this was really hard for this type A oldest child, a perfectionist mom to get to the point where, like, you know what? This is what the answer key says it is, but it doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense to you. And it doesn't make sense to the both of us together. But we tried. And sometimes that's the lesson. Sometimes the trying and making the effort,
Mhm.
that's more important than actually getting the right answer. The right answer was right there. The key told us what the right answer was, but it didn't make sense. But that's okay because we tried.
High school math. Ouch.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, if you could take your dream homeschool field trip anywhere in the world, where would you go and what would you do?
Oh, we would totally go to Europe and we would take forever and see all the cool historical sites and museums and try all the food because my kids are all foodies, and it would be amazing. And maybe
Mhm.
somebody would know each of the languages. I don't know. That would be an added bonus.
That does sound amazing. That sounds pretty impressive. So, the point of this little interview, of course, is so that mamas can get to know you as a homeschool consultant. And here in Sunroom Week, just kind of invite them. We have one-on-one consulting and group coaching over in the Sunroom at Heart of a Mother. Both are options. And so I want to ask you in closing, if someone is considering scheduling a call with you, Amy, as a consultant, we allow our clients to schedule just one call or a
Mhm.
series of calls, whatever works, right? Whatever they need in that time. But this mom is like, I'm a mess. Amy, I mean, one call is not going to help me, and that's all I can do right now. But like, there's no way that's worth it. What would you tell that mama?
If we can get one of those things that's causing the mess or the chaos or the struggles in your home, if we can get one thing sorted out, I hope that will cause a domino effect and the process that we go through to solve that one thing will help you think of ways to solve the other things. And then if you struggle into another one of those chaos points, then you can call us and we'll try again. And we'll just keep trying.
Yeah.
And yeah,
There's something to be said for momentum, right? Start
right,
one thing and
right.
there,
And even sometimes it's that one thing will make you realize either one, it wasn't as big of a deal as I thought it was, or oh, this solution is simple enough. I can enact this, and maybe that will help me find other simple solutions for the other issues that I'm having. So
mhm, fair. Put you on
that's
the
the
spot. Can
goal.
you think of a simple solution that you've given more than once, maybe?
On my post-it note solution.
Hmm.
So, or color coding. I color code everything because it helps me. My kids have color coded towels, color coded cups and dishes. And I have a master binder for all of my kids' schoolwork, and they have color coded folders where I keep tests to be taken, tests that have been graded, assignments, all the things for that particular child. So I color code things. And at the beginning of the year, I give them a stack of post-it notes in their color because and then if they have something they struggle with, they can write it down on that post-it note. Or if they're too young, they don't even need to write it down because again, it's color coded, so I know which kid it goes to. And we have a window by our kitchen table, and they can pop that post-it note on the window. So one, they think that's cool, they could put something on the window. And two, it's color coded, so I know immediately just at a glance who needs my help. Even if I don't know what that help is going to require, I know which kid I'm going to have to work with later. So it also prepares my brain for that too. So color
Mhm.
coding and post-it notes can solve
Awesome.
so many things.
So they're not with the post-it note, they're not interrupting you with whatever you're doing. They're just, I need
I,
help
I
silently.
ideally they're not interrupting me.
Okay.
Ideally they're not. But it's
Theoretical,
also
realistic.
right, but it's also a reminder that before snack time, before tea time, I need to make sure I touch base with that kid
Yeah.
to help them with whatever it was they were having problems with. And sometimes by the time I can get to them, they've figured it out,
Ooh.
which is nice. So
Mhm.
there's less things they have to worry about, but it's a good reminder to me to check in with that kid to do the thing that they needed help with.
Awesome. It's a great tip. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for being here. This is beautiful. Love having a conversation with you. I mean, like in real life, Amy's one of my best friends. So it's really great to work with her as a homeschool consultant, but I also like to hear about that side of what you do and we don't get to talk about these kinds of details. So
No,
this has
we
been really
don't.
fun. We don't.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, yay. And anybody who's watching who wants to spend more time with Amy, you can head to heartofamother.net and schedule either a one-on-one call with her or join the Sunroom membership where we have weekly live group consulting calls. And so those are both options to you. Like I said, you can just schedule one call with Amy and never see her again or see how she can help. But most of Amy's clients are return clients because she's so helpful and encouraging and practical and realistic. I think that's a gift that you have is really setting realistic plans. So thank you for doing that for all of us because you
Of
helped me
course.
too. All right. Thank you again for everybody for watching and head to heartofamother.net for more information about Heart of a Mother homeschool consulting and the